Hi everyone, how are you? And thank you for your time and space sharing with me to join us with this, I should say, season 3 of the TGIF. I don't know how many people of you have joined us previously for the past 2 seasons. Hopefully you enjoy it as much as I am. Again, my name is David Yang. I'm the Senior Director of the Exclusive Networks. I'm mainly handling the support and services, and I wish I can share with you all I understand about Fortinet and especially the technology and products as far as I know. I cannot claim that I know everything, but I hope I can share with you my experience and knowledge as much as I can. All right, so first of all, I would like to have a quick introduction of Exclusive Networks. So we're a value-added distributor. We talk about value a little bit later. So basically, we focus ourselves on cyber and cloud securities. All the products, technology that we carry, all the services that we provide, or regarding related to cyber and cloud securities. As you may or may not know, we have 62 offices over the world, and we have international, or I should say global deal desk that can help you to run all your logistic worldwide. We also provide pre-configuration or stage, we so-called staging services. Basically, we can turn your, whatever the product you order from us and turn into pre-configurations stage, and then we ship to wherever location you want. And we handle all the logistics within North America as well as the worldwide. Some of you may already know we are number one Fortinet global distributor. And the best thing that we can claim for the past, let's say, over 20 years now, we have a rapid turnaround with any proposal, any question you have any question regarding the product itself, the SKU number, the pricing, or any pre-sale, post-sale services question you have, you can contact us directly. We have information later I'll provide to you. You have one-on-one access to our sales rep as well as our support and service personnel. Like I mentioned earlier, we offer technical sales as well as even marketing support. If you have any marketing need, you have any event, promotional you want to run, we can help you with that. We definitely help you with building the leads, provide you the leads and share the leads with you as well as help you to closing the deals. We also have certification training available. We provide both cyber and cloud certification training. So we have different type of leasing and financing office services for you. So it depends on the need, depends on the project, the size of the project. We also will provide you that besides Fortinet is our number one, but we do have some complement product technology we can help you to source with. So again, our support and services, pre and post-sale support. We provide you tools, we provide you staging services to help you to migrate whatever your non-existent security service or your existing service to the best of the breed services. So today's agenda, basically I'm gonna give you guys the overview or a quick overview of the security fabric. I also want to give you a quick introduction of the FortiGate based on the latest FortiOS 6.2. We'll give you an overview of UTM and GFW, what's a new feature in there. And also probably the hottest topic about in this day is the SD-WAN. SD-WAN is not just have a multiple internet connectivities, optimize that, but also most important things for FortiGate, Fortinet can provide you the top security. And then we also touch base about the security rating and also talk about FortiLink. Those are just the main topics we want to talk about today. In the subsequent episode 2, 3, and 4, I'll get more into each of the topics we talk about here, right? And at the end, I'll give you an overview and overall on the top of a demo to give you understanding what FortiGate is really about. Now, before we jump into that, I want to show you some Fortinet resource. Usually I put this at the end of the presentation. However, I really want to show you that you guys can go in there and get a lot of information out of it besides what I get to talk about today. I just give you some introduction, but hopefully after this session, you have much more resource you can get into and try to more to understanding, right? So the first of all, of course, the Fortinet website, fortinet.com. You can click on a product. This is the FortiGate next generation firewall, FortiGate, and you can see lots of Fortinet related products and technologies available on the Fortinet site. So you can definitely get general information. And if you have a specific need, you want to look at certain different model of FortiGate, you can look at VM or entry level, mid-range, high-end, and those and even chassis levels. And then second one I want to introduce you to is the partner portal, which all of you are Fortinet partners, and I appreciate that. And so you should, if you haven't had a chance to look at it, or if you already knew about this one, you can definitely go in there to dig more information about it. The top one from my point of view would be the C tab. Any of the end user or your customer, they need or don't understand what Fortinet security value can bring to them, C tab is definitely something you want to get more into. And again, if you have questions, feel free to talk to us. And you can get the latest price list and something, of course, and there's deal registering. And something I really want to talk about is the training. So if you click on training, you can see there's NSC training, fast track training, the 40 minutes webinar, and also the NSC Insider webinar is very, very popular. Usually there's probably 100 attendees in each of the webinars. And those are very useful update information. And you can get those past historical webinars on site from here. Now, the other thing, just give you a quick understanding is that if you say, hey, this is the first time you want to touch, or this is the first time you don't know what FortiOS, newest FortiOS is about, you can definitely go to videos, video.fortinet.com to look for videos, or you can subscribe, or you can do search on all the videos that's available. There's tons in there. And also the documentation, so it's docs.fortinet.com. You can go in there and search the different topics or different product technology you want to look into. Then next one will be very important for me and all of you guys. Once you get into the service, you definitely should have a account in the support.fortinet.com, which will bring you to so-called a 41 account, right? So this one is the one I will be talking about later, which is a FortiCloud. You can look at a FortiCloud, look at different things, FortiGate Cloud, FortiAP Cloud, all those things. We will talk about this later on in the other episodes. The other one I would like to strongly recommend you, especially your technical engineer side. If you guys are interested, you should definitely go more frequent into the FortiGuard.com and provide you the latest information about what's going on in the world, what the security things going in the world. One of them I found it pretty interesting is if you look at this, it's a threat map. That's a real time. You can see that with the Fortinet's technology, constantly tracking what's going on within the security world, right? Internet. So without further ado, let me bring back into the presentations. So this is all the resource you can find from Fortinet. It's very, very useful, very valuable, right? So the next thing I want to dive into is the security fabrics. I don't know how many of you already heard about this security fabric framework or architecture. Basically, if you look at today's world, there's so many devices connect to your network, right? within this network, there's so many different things. We usually call attack service or a security service that the attack, the security breaches can coming from every forefront, right? There's IoT over there. There's different endpoints. You can have internal insider threats, all those kind of things. So it's very broad. Now, how can you bring all those security together to prevent and provide the reliability security of your own? That needs some integration work. And after integration, you collect so much information. What are you going to do with it? So automation is definitely a very important piece of all those the fabrics we talk about, right? So if you look at this, there's a different piece of solution out there, right? There's all different kinds. There's a Wi-Fi solution, all of them related to your network, and all of them could have security threats that you may not know. How can you tie them together with so many different vendors out there, right? If you guys heard about RSA conference, there's hundreds, if not thousands, vendors, security related product vendors out there, right? Fortinet is definitely one of them, but you may not, or you know, or you may not know that Fortinet has provided an overall solution that tied all those pieces together, right? The FortiGate is the core. That's what we're going to talk about today, or hopefully, drill more into it in the next few episodes. That we're going to talk more about FortiGate, how they can become the core of all the security forefront to tighten up your network, right? So there's a couple of pieces you can see from the picture over here. There's a FortiManager. There's a Fabric connector, which is a FortiGate has that connect all those pieces together, right? So there's a FortiCASB, the FortiWeb, FortiMail, FortiADC, Analyzer, SIEM, Sandbox, AP switch. We can talk about AP and switch and also FortiToken a little bit today, at least give you some understanding. And then there's a FortiClient, Fortinet, which is all about the endpoint. And then Fortinet also provide APIs for third-party vendor that can have a plugin into this security fabric framework architecture. So FortiGate advantage, a lot of people talking about different security, or I should say UTM, NGFW firewall. There's so many vendors out there. There's quite a few of them pretty popular or talk about, right? Well, what's good about FortiGate, right? I think the number one thing come to my mind is security fabric, because this is not a piecemeal or pieces together and try to solve different vendor solutions. It's really a core of the whole security fabric that Fortinet developed and improve, and then every day and running with this millions of devices out there, try to bring all the security understanding to this core of the security fabrics, right? They tie every pieces together to give you reliable security detection and preventions. And most importantly, with the FortiGate is the ASIC. This probably, I believe that's already the 9th generation of the FortiASIC. FortiASIC has three different types. SoC is a system on chip, which is you will see later, mostly for the entry level of FortiGate, and the content process, which is I would say the brain, the heart of the FortiGate itself. And for the higher end FortiGate devices, there's a network process. That's all developed by the Fortinet internal itself that provide ASIC, and there's a big group of the engineering constantly develop this FortiASIC. And I definitely want to talk about FortiLink. This is probably the latest development that tied your switch, your AP altogether within the FortiGate security realm. That really give you peace, understanding that you have a well-protected network. So I'm going to quickly talk about the FortiGate product lines. This is, you can see that there's entry level, there's mid-range, high range, all the way to virtual machine chassis, right? So like I mentioned to you, there's SoC, you can see that SoC over here, and SPU, the content process units in there that can help to be faster of all the FortiGates. If you look at a lot of the third-party security device testing, you can see that Fortinet performance pretty much always on the top, right? That's because they have their own ASIC that compare with any other vendors is irrelevant because they all depends on others vendors or third-party vendors CPUs, but Fortinet has its own, right? So this is all the FortiGate product that you can see in the world. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you can go to Fortinet.com, check on the NGFW page with the models. You can see all the models in there. Now, the FortiGate is the hardware. I think the heart is really the FortiOS. FortiOS, it's very well developed. It's for the past 20 something years. I still remember the first time involved with the FortiOS. It's pretty interesting, the concept, understanding, but 20 years later, I look at it, I say, I was just overwhelmed or amazed how much effort, how much technology has been developed. There's quite a bit of patents has been filed, has been developed by the FortiOS, right? The FortiOS, I think, all behind this is the FortiGuard. I showed you earlier the FortiGuard labs, the website. It's a very interesting website. FortiGuard labs basically consist of human beings. There's machine learning, there's AI technology behind to provide all those security, prevention, detection, and mitigations. And FortiGate itself has all features, especially in the 6.2 and continued development with all the security features. We're gonna touch base a little bit, very high level overview of FortiGate security later. And of course, SD-WAN. And as people usually don't think Fortinet has, or FortiGate has anything to do with a WAN technology, but FortiGate actually has SD-WAN in mind for quite some time already. And they're not just optimizing the WAN capability, but also put the best of the breed security onto it. Because once you open up your WAN, try to optimize it, you also open up your door, your front door, to all the possible security attack, right? So you must have the top of breed, best breed security to help you to detect and prevent that. And then another thing I want to talk about is security rating. I'm not sure how much people understanding what this is about, right? Security rating, or we can call it security posture, right? So basically, let you understand within the market, within the industry, even within your own company, when your executive ask you how comfortable you are, how comfortable you feel about our security. This is really the security rating is about. It's not just based on its own in-house development, but a lot of the information reference coming from different government agency too. Right? We're gonna also touch base a little bit, and in the future episode we'll talk more deeper. So this is the FortiGuard services, right? Like I mentioned earlier, right? The FortiGuard is really the heart, the brain of the whole Fortinet security technologies, right? So there's a human being involved, there's a machine learning involved, there's AI involved. And as you know, Fortinet probably is the most popular, FortiGate probably is the most popular NGFW or UTM firewall out there in the world, right? So there's millions of FortiGate out there continually collecting all sorts of threats and then feed back into the FortiGuard labs, right? And you can see all those sources continually collecting all those information and put it back to the FortiGuard and to produce better understanding and better protection for you. Right. So as a FortiGuard services, previous slides, you can see that how it contains all how the elements in there. But this is a process, basically, the threat intelligence sharing, not just the FortiGates, and there's a FortiSandbox out there, there's a FortiSIEM, there's a FortiAnalyzer out there, and there's also third-party technology partners out there. They're helping each other to help us to secure our network, to have a peace of mind, right? So those intelligence feedback to the FortiGuard labs, and FortiGuard labs in turns turn them into the services and try to understand how to analyze it and provide the best protection for your devices on your network. Right. So this again, you can see that it's artificial learning, machine learning, all those are played together to give you the best understanding what this threat's about. It could be false positive, could be real threats, right? All those need to be turned into machine learning and artificial, as well as human being doing the real analysis of it. I would like to talk about this. Sometimes I don't know if you guys or have run into any question like that, but a lot of question coming from our partners saying that, hey, I want to buy a FortiGate, but with the FortiGate itself, it's just a plain old firewall, right? Doesn't really mean much in the nowadays world, right? So Fortinet now in turns have different security services subscription that I think is a very, very essential, very, very critical to your reading networks. If you have designed a network, you put in a firewall, how good is it that you're not maintaining it, right? How good is it that you're not constantly updating your subscription, your security subscriptions, right? So there are 4 different type of service available from Fortinet offerings. So there's a threat prevention. You can see from this map, hopefully give you more understanding how good it is. So I'm not going to too details for this, but you can see that 360 protection, including everything here. Now, one thing I do want to mention that within this services, there's this so-called FortiConverter services. So what this does is, I often got question asked about this one, is that if your customer or whoever has different vendor solutions, or even has older FortiGate solutions already deployed, and they want to migrate to the newer one, or from third party to the FortiGate services, FortiGate products, then you can subscribe to this FortiConverter service that is a one-time service. You provide the Fortinet support with the current configuration of device, whatever the device that is. They will help you to convert the current configuration to whatever FortiGate you're deploying, right? So there's one-time service for one FortiGate, all right? So this will help your deployment much easier and to give you a protection without any doubt. And then you can resell the service if you want to, right? Any further information, this is a link. You can go in there and check it out. Now we talk about FortiGate service securities, right? The first thing I would definitely want to mention is security rating. So with the security fabrics we have already in mind, what does it really do for your FortiGate, to your network using the FortiGate in there, right? So how can you understand what kind of security the FortiGate really provides you? Even though you say, oh, I turned on this, I didn't turn on that, does it matter? Those kind of questions, besides looking at document, the security reading can give you a peace of mind to understand, hey, maybe something I need to do to improve, or maybe I don't care about this. Maybe I don't need to worry about too much about this. We'll talk about this later when I do a demo. And the network defense. A lot of people just think FortiGate is a firewall, right? A UTM firewall and GFW firewall. But using the VDOM itself, or even multiple FortiGate, you can get into micro segmentations, right? So using VDOM, later I'll give you a quick overview of what VDOM is about. So virtual domain, basically, you can segment your network. Of course, that take a little bit more advanced skill to do so, but you can segment your network, or if you have multiple, let's say end user, multi-tenancy type of environment, right? You can use VDOM to segment them, and then have them, each of them have their own different type of security policies. Then you can implement that for different requirement, different compliance need if necessary, right? So that's what VDOM on net microsegmentation can be done with the FortiGate itself. And then what you do is using the so-called security profile. In the UTM, there's a whole bunch of, quite a few different features, function in there. You define in the security profile in order to further tuning into your security requirement needs. And once you have auto profile defined, you use your policy to really set up a restriction, open up a restriction, if you will, to protect. And once you have a policy, you can monitor using those policies, based on the policy, and see how much effect it takes for your network traffics. So once we talk about security, the UTM and GFW is definitely the one we talk about. So there's a different subset of when you turn on UTM feature versus you turn on NGFW. NGFW mainly is more into application layer, application levels, layer 7, layer 6 type of security protection. And UTM basically for almost everything you can think of, right? And the beauty of this is that you can have all the logging, reporting, management, monitoring, and even sandboxing within the FortiGate. I'll show you a little bit more later. So you can see that that's all the multiple different type of security feature functions all built into the FortiGate, right? So the FortiGate, we refer back to a few slides ahead previously, that we can see there's a different level of FortiGate. There's entry level, mid-range, enterprise, all those. So number one question I usually ask is when people ask me, hey, how do I do a sizing? So number one question I usually ask is, what's your internet speed, right? Basically, if your internet speed is lower than the FortiGate, then your bottlenecks actually on the internet, right? Internet bandwidth. If you have multiple internet, that's more than better, right? So you can use load sharing, which is SD-WAN can help you on the FortiGate side to help you optimize your internet bandwidth. And second thing I will ask usually is how many devices you need to connect, right? Device in terms of, could be a wired device, could be a Wi-Fi device. But if you have a Wi-Fi device, of course, you're gonna talk about APs, 40 APs. Then you need to do some kind of heat mapping. You need to understand what kind of device they have. They have an older device, they have a new device, there's 2.4 gig, there's a 5 gigahertz, different frequency, then it depends what you need, right? And also, of course, there's a Wi-Fi 6, although it's not as popular nowadays with the endpoint yet, but eventually you might want to think about Wi-Fi 6, right? We talk about this a little bit more deeper later. So this is SD-WAN, right? Like I mentioned earlier, SD-WAN is probably the hottest topics in the market currently. And there's so much buzz about SD-WAN, and there's quite a few vendors providing SD-WAN also. Even Cisco, they bought companies doing SD-WAN, but they also offer SD-WAN solutions. Aside from this, you should definitely go to the partner portal, pull out there's latest NSC webinar, and you will find out quite a few topics about SD-WAN. And I strongly suggest you to go in there and check out those webinars. all about how FortiGate providing SD-WAN as the best of breed solution, especially like I mentioned earlier, when you open up your network, when you open up your route into the internet, you actually open up your front door for more possible attack. So you definitely need the best of breed Fortinet security to protect, not just optimize, but also protect your SD-WAN, right? So Fortinet SD-WAN, I don't need to talk about SD-WAN, the definition, but basically you have a data plan, you have a control plane. So, right, so the control plane basically understand the application. What kind of application you have, then try to provide you the best route on the data plane, right? So that's what SD-WAN is about. That's why FortiGate has already have the SD-WAN capability in there, understand, have what the application is about, want to understand what kind of internet connection you have. So like I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of staging services. One of the company that asked us to do is we often ship with FortiGate plus a third party, I want a 3G, 4G modem, right? It just happened to be they pick third party, but Fortinet also provide so-called Forti extender. That's 3G, 4G modem also. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's that you can have a lot of company nowadays because they have some different remote site branch office. They have one internet, or they may not have high bandwidth internet, but 3G, 4G, or even in the future 5G modems already out there or services out there. They would like to deploy that. So they usually have a high bandwidth and with low bandwidth as a backup, or even have two equal bandwidth. They do a load sharing, load balancing type of thing. They're using SD-WAN. Then they feel much more comfortable that the security actually is built in with SD-WAN, right? So as the SD-WAN, you can see that it's reduced your business complexity, because you don't need to worry about, oh, there's multiple WAN. Now, how should I route this traffic? How should I route it? You need to set up the policy individually, which you waste a lot of time and cause a lot of complex situation for your own network securities, right? And we all understand that will help you to improve your application and save a lot of costs, because you don't need to use MPLS anymore. Then you can use just regular WAN, and you have best security out there to help you to minimize any security risk, right? And it's simple management. Basically, you have one box, you can manage SD-WAN and security all in the same box. So this is just give you a quick a picture of how FortiGate SD-WAN works, right? So you could still use MPLS because your legacy application, all those kind of things. But in the meantime, you can gradually deploy other internet connectivities to provide you the better bandwidth, better utilization of the bandwidth, right? So you can see that from here, how this FortiGate works, right? There's a SD-WAN, basically it's WAN connectivities. Then you can use traffic shaping. You can even use VPN, IPsec, or SSL VPN through the WAN connectivities, right? And all the NGFW or UTM security behind all those connectivities. That's really give you a peace of mind that you can sleep very well, and you don't worry about the complexity of the WAN optimization that provides you. Now we really go into the heart of the FortiGates, the FortiOS. Like I mentioned to you, it's been FortiOS has been developed for the past 20 years. The current version is 6.2.2. It may not run the some older version of the FortiGate, but if you have a D series, E series, or even the latest one, the F series, like 60F or 100F, which I have right now, it's provide you real good performance, very high performance, but all of them running the same FortiOS. All of them run the same FortiOS. So if you already know one FortiGate, FortiOS pretty well, you're all set. You can definitely work on any other different models of FortiGate without any problem, even a VM, or for instance, even the public cloud like Amazon, AWS, or Azure. So FortiOS, mainly from my point of view, there's two types: traffic and the contents, right? So you need a speed, you need connectivities on your traffic, right? So speed, like I mentioned earlier, we have the SD-WAN in there, the CPU, the 40 ASIC performance. They're all gonna help you to speed up all the traffic packets inspections. Then we talk about content inspection filtering, right? Now, antivirus CPRL, it's called Compact Pattern Recognition Language. That's Fortinet's own in-house developed, I should say, algorithm to help speed up or simplify the content inspection, right? So this is what the heart and brain about the FortiOS. A lot of people talk about hardware, but really the FortiOS is really the one that continuously improve to help to counterattack all those possible security risks. Security rating, I'm going to do a quick demo later, and then right now just give you an understanding. So basically, you can use your security rating to tie into your industry, your own industry, or your customer industry, I should say, right? Give the customer a very great understanding what's going on and how good their security is, right? Security posture, right? And all those security rating is based on the best practice. The best practice really coming from different government or third-party agency, what they have, all those process and procedure in mind. I'm not going to talk about this right now, but I did talk about this in the previous seasons of TGIF. We're probably going to revisit that later on. Give you a FortiGate, give you the real-time monitoring and analysis. Like I mentioned earlier, there's reporting, the logging, the information feedback, all those information are readily available, a single pane of glass that you can look at it anytime you want, right? That's pretty much in real time. Now, in the 6.0, Fortinet actually bring this 40 switch, as you know or you may not know, but there's a 40 switch, and of course you definitely know the 40 AP now for the Wi-Fi. So you basically use a FortiGate as a controller through the 40 link to manage each of the 40 switch that connect to the FortiGate, as well as the AP connect to the switch. So they actually bring all the wire and wireless network into the same security control, the same best of breed security. That really gives you possibly the best value you can bet in nowadays, right? Well, besides Fortinet, I just want to quickly mention that we also offer other security solutions or security related solutions. All those vendors you can see in this page that all have technology or a marketing partnership with the Fortinet, all of them, right? So, and we'll work with them very well. Name a few, like a Gigamom, they already have a partnership with Fortinet, and Zomi, because they all have some technology or partnership with Fortinet. Redmond IT is basically they carry all the entry-level FortiGate shelves. So that's one of them we also carry. Fortinet carry that shelf also. Just depends on your preference. So I'm going to do a demo. This is probably give you about 10 minutes demo, and appreciate your patience with me. Feel free to contact us. If you have any sales questions, send an email to sales_US. If you have any pre or post-sales support question, you can either contact sales or contact us directly, support_US. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to bring you up my demo. So this is a FortiGate 100D. right? First of all, this is I have a HA running on this one. So let me just quickly run this into the HA. Right, you can see that I have two 40K 100F. Beauty of 100F, you can definitely look at more details. Beauty of 100F is I have two 10 gig SFP plus ports in there, right? 60F is also out. The performance probably probably 3 times of this previous version of 60E, right? So I'm running two 100F HA mode, active sharing. I'm not going to the HA setup because it's pretty straightforward. It only take you about, what, 10 minutes maybe? Yeah. Anyway, so this is status. So I want to give you a quick understanding how this status was. So you can see that I have all the license, all the security subscription available here. And you can see that I have a 40 token. Each of 40 gig come with 2 free 40 token. I happen to have 12 right now. I have 10 more. Because we're going to use different things later. So, and then I'll do a demo in the future too. I will also want to mention that 40 clouds, right? You definitely want to register your 40 cloud. So you can go to your 40 cloud to manage your 40K directly, right? So for instance, right over here, you can see it's managing my 40K, right? I can check remote anywhere I go using my own 41 account to check my 40K devices. And I can do a configuration here. You can check the logs, you can check the reports, all through that using the 40 clouds. The one I have, 40 clouds, is a free license. Free license, I believe, give you about a week, 3 to 1 week, depends on how much log you have of free log retention. After 3 or 1 week, they will recycle. So if you say, hey, I want more than that, you can buy the service a very minimal amount of money that you can buy the service and give you and your customer a very good understanding of what's going on with the auto log, and even reports that if you, that's a very good revenue occurring that you can do is that providing the management report, right? Using the 40 clouds. I think definitely worthwhile the value, right? And you can see that there's a security fabric, and you can see that there's a security rating. So I'm going to dive into the security rating right now. So you can see that the score is 104, it's okay. That you can see that shows different things here, right? Tell you which ones passed, which one exempt, which ones failed. No, I'm not saying I don't care about a fail. I want to give you a variety of what's going on, right? It doesn't mean that I would like it to be, I'd like to have higher score as possible, but just give you a variety of understanding what's going on. So you can see that that's S&P polling, and if you pull on this, it will tell you why it failed, right? And then even give you a quick, easy to fix it. You just click apply, and then we'll fix that thing for you. And you can, and then after that, you can run the security rating again. So I think this is very useful. A lot of people may overlook this, but I think it's very useful. At least you have a better understanding in bird's eye view what's going on with your 40K. In terms of 40K, that's give you understanding what's going on with your network, right? So that's what security rating is about, right? Now I'm going to show you the physical topology. So it's also available since 6.0. So give you physical understanding or physical diagram of what's going on with your network, right? And you can see that there's a different clients connect to my switch over here, and different client connect to my AP here, right? And this is my 40K. You can see that on the 40K, there's SD-WAN. I have 3 internet connections. I just had a fiber connected yesterday, so I just turned it on. I have a WAN 1, WAN 2, and DMZ. You can see that maybe on the 40K marking, there's a WAN 1, WAN 2. But to be honest with you, if you're skilled enough, you can use any port you want to configure as another port for the SD-WAN. So right now I have a 3 port connect to my SD-WAN. I can have a multiple, right, if I want to. So this is the physical view, right? By the way, our network is called Awesome Networks. It's awesome. And this is a logical topology, right? You can see this logical view, what it looked like in terms of connectivities. Now, I want to put into the SD-WAN, so just because that's the topic we talked about earlier. So you can see that we have 3 links. Because of fiber, so I basically make the other 2 as more like a flow over or backup link for my fiber. I'm going to mainly use my fiber because my fiber is about 300 meg right now. So I want to put all my traffic into it. So that's why it changed cost to 0 and the rest to 10, right? So you can see that this is fiber, right? So you can see that based on volume, because I just turned on actually early this morning, so it hasn't accumulated enough traffic, but you can see that bandwidth. Everything, all the traffic right now pretty much all using my fiber link, as well as my sessions. So in order for me to create another link, right? So I just easily create a view, create new, right? And then I can put another link in there for my SD-WAN. Very easy to do, right? And then I can use my SD-WAN rules to set up, say, hey, this is just all this network, pretty much all of them right now, as far as I know. I'm going to use my best quality. I'm going to use this, right? So this is what you can set it up this way to utilize your SD-WAN bandwidth, right? Another thing we talked about earlier is security profile. I want to, before I jump into security, let me talk about FortiLink first. So go to my network, look at my interface. You can see my FortiLink here, right? So you can go into the FortiLink. You can pick whatever device, whatever ports available on a FortiGate, set up as a FortiLink. The same thing with a FortiSwitch. You can set up a FortiLink ports over there and say that's FortiLink, and both were connected. So right now I'm using port 19 as my FortiLink ports, right? The X1, X2 is that 10 gig SFP plus I mentioned earlier about 100F, right? So that's FortiLink. So you can see that under FortiLink, there's so many different virtual interface that is. So if I go to FortiLink interface, this is the FortiGate side. If you look at the Forti switch, you see I have a 140 switch available here, and then I'm using FortiLink over there to connect, right? And under the Forti switch, I create a couple of my own VLAN. I didn't use the default VLAN, but I have a couple of my own VLAN. And then you can use the ports to look at who are connecting to it, right? So you can see that on the port 2, port 3, I have a FAP here, 221E. You can see that, right? And then this is port 4. Actually, I connect to AH, which is Aerohive. You saw the vendor that we carry. So I had AH, I connect to it. So you can connect any device you want. But of course, you will not be able to manage this Aerohive device, but you can definitely manage the 40 APs, right? And you can see that the ports up is connected with green dots, and then you can see who are connecting to it, right? You can see who are connecting to it, right? So that's FortiLink. It gives you a real great understanding what's going on, right? Then I have a 40 APs, right? You can see that's 240 AP there. You saw that earlier on the 40 switch side, right? That's 40 APs. I can manage them. I can see what's going on with them, right? This is SSID, also networks, right? So that's the FortiLink connecting as a controller of the 40 switch as well as the 40 AP. Now, quickly jump into, let me jump into this first, 40 tokens. So you can see that there's a 40 tokens here, two being assigned. So if I go to the user definition, and you can see we have, FortiGate has LDAP integrated. So I have LDAP integrated, which is Awesome Networks. And also I have a local user. So the LDAP, I have assigned 40 token to it, right? You can assign, and then you can send the verification code using SMS or whatever that is, right? So let me quickly, because I spent too much time. So this is security profile. So here is all the security features available for on the FortiGate, right? So there's antivirus, URL filtering, all those. You can look at each one of them and decide how you want to define your security profile. Once you have all the security profile defined, then you have your firewall policy. Then depends on the traffic directions, right? So you can see that from my Wi-Fi to my LAN, right? I have a security policy defined, and from my Wi-Fi to my SD-WAN of security profile. So if I open up this SD-WAN outbound, all the outbound Wi-Fi services, you can see that I turn on this antivirus and IPS. But if I want to, I can turn on all this. And if I have different security profile, then I can pick different security profile from here. Right. So that's how you use for your security profile along with your firewall policies. I'm pretty much run out of time, but this is just a very brief overview of how you can set up your FortiGate. I hope you like it and find this useful. Definitely, I didn't drill deep enough. That's what a subsequent episode will be. Hopefully you enjoyed us. And then any question, any feedback, feel free to send a chat or send to the email. Like I mentioned to you earlier, you can send to our, let me show you this. Yeah, send to our email, sales_US or support_US. Again, we run out of time. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your patience with us, and hope I can talk to you more in the future. And again, your comments are welcome. Take care.